Hey, I am a revision geek and I want you to come and join my revision geek world. Welcome to the Diaries of a Revision Geek. I cannot wait for you to watch these interviews. They are so super fun. I've got qualified accountants together talking about their revision journeys, the highs, the lows, the struggles, and all the things in between about how other people got their plaque up on the wall and how they got qualified. I've picked qualified accountants in my LinkedIn network on purpose to help and support you guys, to inspire and motivate you if you are on your accounting journey. Feel free to like and subscribe below for more. Just click on the icons and I will keep you up to date with the Diaries of a Revision Geek. Let's get started. In today's interview, we have Kishan. He is CIMA qualified. In Kishan's journey, we're going to talk about how his vision and end goal really helped and supported him to qualify, what structure and routine he had to put together to be able to pass 7 exams during the pandemic. And he gives away some of his exam technique secrets to us too, so watch out for those. Enjoy the Revision Geek interview. Let me know what you think. Hi Kishan, great to have you. I'm super excited about this diary and learning about your revision journey. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So introduce yourself, let us know who you are, what you do.
So my name is Kishan Raikundalia. I currently finished the CIMA qualification. Got my letters behind my name, ACCA, CIMA. So my name has just gone to a sentence long now. But I currently am a finance analyst at a construction/service company, and in March I'll be joining a new job after I've got after been fully qualified.
Great, that's exciting. We can talk about that for sure. So you've only just qualified as well, haven't you? A few months ago, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I qualified in November. I did the August strategic case study, and then got the results for that in, I think, mid-October, and then done the CIMA PER and managed to get that submitted at the beginning of November, and then got my letters, got my qualification mid-November, end of November.
Oh, that's exciting. So good. When I saw the letters after your name on LinkedIn, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, we've got the letters, yes. But we'll talk about that, how I helped you as well. But talk me through the start of your journey. I've worked with you at your end of your journey, but I'd love to know, this is what I want to know, your revision geekness. So talk me through your journey, your CIMA journey.
Sure. Basically, my journey started very slow. When I finished my degree at Coventry University, I only got 3 exemptions, and those were from the foundation level. And during that time, there was 5 foundation levels. There was that business mathematics that I still needed to do, and there was also like a governance foundation exam that I needed to do. So during that time, in 2017, I managed to get those 2 exams out of the way. Then all of a sudden, due to work, when I got my second job, everything stopped. All my studying stopped for like a year and a half. I was trying to get focused, trying to build my career, was working really, really late hours. And I only managed during that year and a half to do only 1 exam, which was the E1 paper. I thought of a process, do E1, P1, so E1, F1, P1, and then the case study. That was my strategy throughout all the levels. So I only managed to do the E1 level in 2017. And then for a year and a half, I didn't do anything. Why
was that, if you don't mind us asking?
Sure. Basically, it was just because of my career at the time. I was working really long hours. I just started a new job, and I really just wanted to get my hands fully into it. And so basically, study kind of was on a back burner while I was focusing on just building on my career here at the company that I was. And then, as I said, year and a half, it was just one exam. And then when I left that company, I managed to do 2 more exams at my contract role. So I did a contract role straight after that year and a half, and I managed to do 2 exams during that time, which I was like, you know what, I've got F1, P1 out the way. And then that was around mid 2018, close to end of 2018. And then after that, I was just like, for me to carry on progressing and for me to get a better pay, to be on that higher position, I need to get these exams out of the way. I joined another company, which I'm currently at right now as a finance analyst, and I managed to get a few exams done before the COVID period. So I think I got operational case study done and a few management level case studies, a few management level exams done. And then after that, COVID hit. And I saw that as a sign, really. I saw COVID as a sign because everyone, my work told me to work from home. And so it was very easy for me to. So as soon as my plan was to work, finish at 5:30, study for a couple of hours. And that was my day pretty much for the whole COVID period. And I had, I think, around 7 exams to do. And I managed to get them all done during that COVID pandemic.
Well done.
Thank you very much. But yeah, it was tough. It was really tough working, studying. It just felt like like a never ending loop. And it was just a roller coaster because I didn't pass all my exams first time.
Okay, I was just about to ask you that actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I know a lot of students had passed their exams first time, but mine was a bit different. I didn't pass all my exams first time. And of course it takes it out of you, right? It like really knocks your confidence. But what I just done was, you know what, I saw the end goal, right? I saw that plaque, I saw the better position, the better salary. I was just like, this is for my career, right? And for me to get to that position, that vision that I have in my head, I need to get these exams done. So I used to be sad for a couple of days after failing an exam, and I was just like, you know what, time to get back on the horse, time to start studying again. And with the multiple choice exams, it was much easier because you get your results in 2 days, right? You know when you pass or fail straight away, and you get your results. And I wasn't far off. I must have got your 98s, your 96. So the pass mark was 100. So I knew I wasn't far off. And so it was just maybe a week of extra revision, a couple of weeks of extra revision, and I managed to pass those exams. And then and that's my story, really.
That's good. So I'd love to drill down on a few things you said.
Sure.
So I talk about revision confidence a lot and picking yourself up, especially if you're a resitter. So because you are a resitter, was your confidence still quite high? Obviously, let's just be real, it does knock your confidence, but was it the fact that you got 96, 97, 98, the pass mark's 100 for objective tests, guys, just in case you weren't aware, because you were so close? Do you think that didn't knock your confidence, or what was it that helped you raise your confidence?
So basically, my confidence got impacted no matter what the score was. If I got 98, if I got 88, no matter how close I was, I thought I failed it, right? It's still a fail in my eyes. And I used to be really tough on myself. And I was just like, oh, I can see all these people on LinkedIn passing their exams first time. I'm like, why can that not happen to me? And I was just like, not everyone's journey is the same, right? I always see that you're meant to be where you're meant to be right now. So even if you failed the exam, that was meant to happen. And you learn from your failures to become successful. And I did. I found the P exams really tough. It took me a few tries for each one. I think P1 was my hardest one. and no matter how many times I failed it, I just brushed myself off, and I was like, I can do this again. I can do this again. And I think it was maybe the third time, a fourth time, I think, and I managed to pass that P1 exam. But it's all about just making sure that you just try your best. Like, at the end of the day, this is not school. You're not going to get told off for failing or anything like that. You're lucky enough to be able to resit the exam.
Yeah, so I'm sensing like you had your own level of self-talk, which was luckily quite a positive self-talk to yourself. One of our other revision geeks, we talked about having her negative self-talk and their inner voice being really negative, but it sounds like yours was we've got positive inner voice.
Yeah, so I had on the first day, so on the day that I failed, it was very negative, right? I was negative. I was just like, oh, I can see all these people passing. Like, why can't I pass? Why can't I pass? And I always gave myself a day of sadness, like a day of sadness, which was the exam day. And I was just like, you know what? I can be sad today. I've just done the exam. I won't do any revision, no nothing, just recover. And then next day, I was just like, brand new day. Let's brush myself off and start again. I wouldn't wait like 3 days, 4 days to do the exam again. It's all fresh in your head, right? So if it's all fresh in your head, if you start in 3-4 days, you might forget some things that you already knew. So I just started fresh, booked the exam a week later, and managed to pass it.
Okay, good. That's good though, right? That's a big part of your revision journey, I would say, looking back at that. So for that week or two after you failed and you resat, was there anything different you did in that revision period?
I just did more practice questions. I feel that is a very, very key for case studies, for the objective tests. The key thing to do is practice. If you've got, with case studies, there's a certain way that you've got to answer a question, and if you do the practice questions in that way, and in exam conditions, when you do the exam, it's actually going to be so much easier. So I had providers, right? I had tuition providers for my for all my exams. I changed 3 times, and I found out that each one was saying exactly the same thing. Practice questions. There's a format of answering questions, so that it was just making sure that I followed that sort of format. But yeah, that was that's what I think was the key thing for me, really.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because practice questions are one of the biggest important things of a revision phase. But I do say to lots of my students, it doesn't mean do 1,000 questions or do 1,000 questions in a week. There is a smart way to use practice questions. Like you said, there is a framework, I call it, on how to do it, especially for the case studies, for sure. I'm a huge fan of case study written sentences and case studies, as opposed to multiple choice. But yeah, there is a way to answer those questions for sure, and you have to practice them to boost your knowledge base and your confidence in your knowledge base.
Yeah, I think the way that I used to come to any exam really was with the objective tests. I used to say, for example, we had 10 chapters in a book, right? For example, E1, I would try and consolidate each chapter into like a page, so back, front. And so in total, I would have 10 pages, right? Back to front of E1 notes. I would learn it, like memorize it, formulas, everything. I'd memorize that. After each chapter, I would do, so our providers used to provide us with a question book for each chapter. I'd go through those questions and basically go through them, and then after that, mark them. After marking them, the ones that I got wrong, I would go back to the actual textbook to see in more detail where I went wrong, like what was the right answer, why was that the right answer, really. And that's pretty much the process that I've done for each objective test.
Just giving away all the secrets, guys. That's exactly how you do it. But yeah, revision notes have their place, but one page of revision notes has much more of a place than hundreds of revision notes. I wrote a blog about how much I dislike revision notes. But I'm coming from, like, I used to pride myself on the prettiest, revision notes, folders worth of like, oh, all of these things, but they're the exams I failed. And the summarized revision notes are the ones that I passed because I did more practice questions instead of writing pretty revision notes. So yeah, it's interesting, but you sound like you've had a structure, which is great. And you've had a structure that you followed consistently.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it was with these exams, it's a long process, right? It takes a couple of years, 3 years, and you need to, with the structure also comes a routine. So I made sure that I was also in a routine, like everyone's working while doing these exams. And so it was like, once I finish work, have a break for like half an hour, work from 6 till 8 o'clock of good studying. And then I can then enjoy the rest of the evening and then sort of do that same process again. And it was the same with that structure. So with the structure of the exams, I would be like, oh, today I would write the notes for chapter 1 and do the questions. Next day I would mark those questions and see where I went wrong, and then write the notes for questions. Write the notes for chapter 2 or something like that. So it was always about planning your week and ensuring that structure was followed throughout the. Of course, you're gonna have delays, right? I'm not saying that. Oh, I followed it to the T. Like, I'm not saying that. But to the best of my ability, I tried to stick to that structure. And yeah, 4.5 years later, and yeah, I've qualified.
But I guess it took you, 4.5 years in time, a little bit less in from start to finish when you were in study mode, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like if say for this COVID pandemic, if this didn't happen, I think it would have taken me longer. This COVID pandemic actually helped me a lot just to focus. Like, I know it's like people, because we were in lockdown, we couldn't go out. So instead of me just sitting there like watching TV, I just thought, let me just carry on, let me just finish these exams. Like, and I would always look back at the COVID pandemic and be like, that was the time that I actually managed to get all my exams. I've done 6 exams during that time, 7 exams. I'm not sure exactly, but I managed to get majority of my exams in that period done.
And you are probably in the minority, I would say, of people who at the start was like, oh, I could do this, my CIMA or my ACCA or my qualification. And actually, I know we're not at the end of it yet, but 2 years later, we're still like, oh, you have actually done it. So, I mean, is that a personality trait of yours? Is there anything you had to muster or action differently to actually do it? Because I did achieve some things in lockdown, but definitely not the level of that I could have, or the level of the goals if I really wanted to push myself, for sure. So is there anything unique or special that you did to make it happen? You actually made it happen.
I don't know. As I said, I saw that vision right at the end. Like, I wanted to be in a better career for myself, on a better salary, just a better accountant. And for me to have got that, for you to be sort of to be on that higher salary, you need to have that qualification behind you. CIMA, ACCA, AAT, ACA. You need those qualification behind you. You need that certificate, because you can still have the experience, but it's that piece of paper that's also very important. And I know a lot of things that you do through your CIMA exams, you might not apply it to your day job, but it's still very important to show that. I feel that CIMA, at the end of the day, my main thing that I've learned from CIMA is that I'm determined, and I can get through something. No matter how long that process is, I can actually get through that.
What a great life skill. Isn't that just a great life skill that you'll remember forever now, and you'll have?
Exactly. That is something that you can that's the key thing that you can take to any job, right? That skill that you can just, your hard work, you put your head down and you can actually do it. Because there was times where, like, right at the beginning of my qualification, I was just like, when I failed my one of my exams, I was like, oh my God, should I switch to ACCA? How many exemptions can I take off for this one? I was trying to find shortcuts, but then I just kind of like hit myself on the head, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like, you're doing so well. Why are you like trying to find shortcuts and stuff like that? Trying to see if you can get exemptions off at ACCA or something like that. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I did check, but
That's so funny that you say that, because you're definitely not the only one that I've experienced that as well. Actually, from the other side, a lot of ACCA students have said, "Oh, CIMA must be easier," but they're both the same, guys. Like, honestly, there's so little difference. There's a couple of tax tweaks on ACCA and a couple of leadership and management style things on CIMA, but 90% of it's the same, honestly. Yeah. And it's as tough. Both of them are as tough in their own unique ways. Multiple choice exams or a 3-hour exam, I mean, they're different.
Yeah, I feel that people may feel that the CIMA exams were easier because it's multiple choice, and when people think multiple choice, it's easy. But like when doing a CIMA exam, you've got to ensure you've got to know the right answer. You can narrow it down. You can definitely narrow it down by judgment and stuff like that. But it's still, that's why the pass mark is 70%. So
yeah, it's a high pass mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would challenge any accountant to redo a CIMA multiple choice exam now. I was fortunate I didn't. I had to write all of my 3-hour exams. So I didn't have a multiple choice. I'm very pleased about that. Obviously, I coach people and I see them now, but there's a massive depth of questions they're asked, especially at strategic level. It's a very weirdly unique one-off question.
Yeah, it was like with when you practice questions, right? That's what my key thing. If you practice questions, I actually saw that there were similar questions when I was actually doing the real exam, and I was just like, you know what, I can actually do that. Like, you can skim that question, be like, oh, I've actually answered that exactly that same question in my practice, and I was like, tick, done, and I knew that was the right answer. And like my format was of answering the objective test was go through all the quick questions first within the first
oh no
20 minutes, and then do all the long questions afterwards.
Don't listen to that technique, guys, but thank you for sharing that. No, I know everyone has their own unique technique, and all I do is coach and support people with their exam technique, whatever works. Yeah, so that worked for you, totally fine.
Yeah,
I'm glad you just found that something that worked for you. Honestly, that's what's important. That's what probably gave you more confidence than you realized.
yeah, I think that once you've passed one exam, right, you kind of follow that same format. And I got like, because I said I did E1, F1, P1, and I thought because of the case studies, right, the case studies is a majority of P1, of the P papers and the E papers. And I could have done the E like maybe last or something like that, but to get you into each level, right, E's tend to be the easier one, right?
We also hate that word, but I'll give you that.
But I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was like E3 is a tough paper as well. But comparing it to the E1, comparing it to the P's and the F, I just found the E's the easier one when entering that level. So the operational, the management, and the strategic. And so it was a good starting block for me. And then the F I've just found it was very hard. And then the piece, and then they just follow that same format.
Everyone's listening going, oh my god, why does Helen think that's so bad? I mean, I don't believe there's anything as easy marks because of the breadth that CIMA asks you for multiple choice questions. You know, there's 60 questions covering the whole syllabus, and you need to answer 45 of them right to pass your exam. And it's not as easy as we think to answer 45 right on a breadth of a syllabus, which is like, 200 pages, 20 chapters, something like that. So there's no such thing as easy marks. Please answer all the questions. Give yourself the best opportunity. But yeah, this is not a Helen coaching interview. But yeah, thank you for talking us through your revision journey. Our listeners will absolutely be able to take something from that. So thank you. I just want to ask you some questions now. These questions I'm asking everybody, so it's just really lovely to have the same questions. So, question number 1, what opportunities did you think would come from being qualified?
I thought when I qualified, the opportunities that would come would be more job prospects, a better salary, of course. And to be able to just add value, right? add value. So because you're going to be hopefully in a higher position, that next stage, you'll be able to look at the strategic, the long-term view, the budgets, the forecasting, to be able to actually add value and be like a key player, in the company. I did feel like a key player when also studying, but I've just felt that with the qualification behind my belt, people would actually take me seriously now instead of, oh, he's only part qualified, like.
He might not really know, but he might, yeah. Well, he's learning.
Exactly.
Okay, and obviously I know you've just recently qualified, so you might not, know all of the opportunities and the rewards that will come your way in the next 5-10 years. But what has come so far since you've been qualified? What opportunities?
So I qualified in November, and you may not know, but I'm actually moving jobs. So I am starting a new job on the 1st of March, and it's a place where I can grow more. It's a position where I feel that it's in a company that is growing exponentially, and of course it's going to be a great way for me to carry on learning and developing my skills as well. Because even after doing the CIMA qualification, you still got to develop your skills, maintain that, and carry on growing. And that's one opportunity that's come about so far.
Oh, that's exciting. A new job. I definitely changed jobs as soon as I qualified as well. And there's a stage after that, in about a year, 2 years, then you'll be at a really great place to jump, where you're really like, oh yeah, I've really practiced being qualified now. Let's just go and jump and be that really high level that you really aspire. So dream big and just go for it. For sure. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
So, question I'm asking everybody, because I love this question, I'm all about revision tips. So what's your number one tip for qualifying accountants listening?
In regards to studying, or in just general life?
Probably some kind of revision CIMA tip vibe, yeah. Oh, absolutely, it's up to you. Honestly, you can give whatever tip you want.
I would say keep going. That's the biggest tip. No matter how many failures you go through, no matter what the downs, you can always pick yourself up and carry on going. Just keep on going. No matter in your CIMA studies, even if you're working and stuff like that, you just got to keep going. Like, keep plowing through. There's always there's always light at the end of the tunnel, right? And you've just got to work yourself, work hard and just focus, and sooner or later, before you even know it, you've reached that light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel that is the biggest key.
And I love those lights at certain levels. CIMA levels are a really good light option, and ACCA you've got the F papers and then the P paper jump. So yeah, keep going for at least the level, guys, and then you'll see the light when, for sure. Just if you need a mini motivation, then just keep to your level. Yeah, thank you for that tip.
No problem.
What's your number one tip? You said you might want to share some more tips with us, so yeah, let me know what they are.
I would say my other tip would be practice questions, right? At the end of the day, it's all about practice, ensuring that you've got the exam technique down to the T. So under time conditions, practicing questions, case studies, there's a way of answering the question, which is point, explain, apply. And you try and explain each point as best as you can. And then therefore you'll get the marks, right? Just practice questions. Also ask people to mark that question, because I found it easy when I was marking, I was kind of generous with my marking. I was, you know what, I'll give myself a mark for this. But try and ask someone to mark it. They'll mark it more harshly, but that will give you a true reflection of exactly where you are, really.
And I would say a lot of students who do self-mark are really harsh. So then again, they're not giving themselves a true reflection either. So I'd give the same tip to them. An external person to mark it, a coach or a tutor. I love marking my students' work just because it puts all the coaching together. So yeah, if you're really generous or if you're really harsh with your marking, an external person will help for that. That's a good tip. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I've really enjoyed learning about your revision journey, Kishan. Thank you so much. I know that I helped you towards the end of your journey get your plaque. So tell our listeners what you came to me for.
So I came to Helen for my final part, which was the CIMA PER experience. I literally had no idea of how to start this. I came to Helen through LinkedIn. I managed to have 2 1-hour sessions with her, and we were able to get the write-up pretty much there. I started the write-up, asked Helen to go through it, where points that I can explain. She gave me some great examples of areas where I could expand or add more examples to particular areas. And before I realized it, the experience had been written up. Like it was all there. I would say try and get that done as soon as you can, because you've got no time limit. Try and get it done as soon as you can. Normally try and get it while you're waiting for your strategic case study exam.
Yeah, that's what I say. Even if it's management case study results, that 6 weeks, try and do some PER in that time. Yeah,
exactly. And then before you know, once you've got your strategic case study, you're probably only a couple of weeks out for the CIMA PER to be approved. And then Helen helped me through all of that, and we managed to get the plaque.
We did. Oh, like I said at the start, I was so excited when I saw you got your letters after your name, because I knew that's what it meant. We submitted, and I was waiting to hear from you, and I was like, oh, has he done it yet? Has Mr. CIMA said yes yet? So yeah, it was really fun to work with you. And yeah, so if you are looking for any PER coaching, then I have a little package available for that as well. But Kishan finished his journey. He is qualified. I can't wait for what 2022 will bring you, sorry. And not 2020.
Oh God, we can't do that yet.
Good luck for your new job. It's exciting. I just think it was just such a beautiful opportunity for you can go straight in as a CIMA qualified accountant now, and with that mindset and skill level and expectations from your employees and you as an employer. That's the wrong way around.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck.
Thank you very much, Helen. I really appreciate all the help that you've done, and and good luck to anyone that's studying. Carry on going, and you've got this.
We have got this, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will look forward to your next. I look forward to watching you in the next year to see when your job title changes, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Helen. I really appreciate that. Thank you.